Hello, hello, and welcome to this episode of the Be Free podcast. And I had mentioned this on my Instagram, and I can't remember if I said at the end of the last podcast, but I was going to have a little podcast covering all the things that I have been doing this year to really support me with my healing and just tell you a little bit about each one. There are many, and I want to try and keep these podcasts, as I mentioned before, to around 15 minutes, 20 minutes, so that you can enjoy it in one sitting. I know I kind of struggle if podcasts are like 45 minutes, an hour. You got to be quite committed to stay and listen. So I wanted to share those with you. Just woken up, have my morning voice, no fancy tech, recording this on Zoom, so I don't have a fancy mic or anything with me today. So hopefully the sound is okay. My voice isn't too croaky. Just woken up on the back of being at a women's circle last night. We'd intended for this to be in person, but in Scotland it's really snowy just now, so we had to shift it online. And what a beautiful space to be part of, and so supportive. So maybe I can kick off with that, finding support. So as you navigate healing, finding a like-minded support group or people. This women's circle is particularly focused around hormonal health, so perimenopause, menopause, prenatal, postnatal, anybody that was affected, by hormones in some way. And it was so good to be with like-minded people, not feel like I'm crazy, and have that support. So I'll kick off with that. So finding support, and that can be really hard. However, if you are in a healing journey and don't have support, equally, you're probably going to feel pretty isolated at times, maybe lonely, and that there's something wrong, that there's something different about you. I know I found a lot of comfort in speaking to people and recognizing, for example, with my vestibular condition that I've had, recognizing that there's other people in the world with it, and that I'm not alone, has given me great comfort, and that there's people that specialize, in that kind of support as well. So I have this huge list. If you're watching this on YouTube, I just sat down the other day and just started writing the things I was trying. There's probably more than that as well. But I thought I'll just, write it down and begin to go through it with you. And this is kind of what I used to do. About 10 years ago, I started blogging, and that was the start of my blog, was just all the things I was trying to overcome, something similar to what I'm experiencing right now, actually. So it's quite interesting to go and have a look at that. But the top of the list I have there is loving kindness. So I obviously have a real deep love of meditation and the benefits of meditation. And loving kindness meditation can be a really fabulous support tool, in that not only are you sending yourself love, kindness, and healing, but you're also then sending it to other people. So we can get really consumed when we're on a healing journey, or, life isn't going particularly well for us, and we can get very consumed in our own problems. However, there is nothing more beautiful and healing as, widening that lens so that you can begin to support other people, even when you are struggling yourself. And I know that I found that really deeply helpful. And I can link up to my loving kindness meditation on Insight Timer, or I have one on YouTube as well to guide you through that process. It's a beautiful Buddhist practice whereby we visualize and send love and kindness to ourselves, to someone we love, someone we have conflict with, someone neutral, the greater world, the community. So it's really fostering that beautiful, loving space. And I have found that so helpful in overcoming a lot of the fear as well around the illness that I experienced this year, the sensations and emotions that I'd experienced this year, because one thing that will diffuse fear is love. So that's a really helpful practice. I'm going to rattle through a couple of different types of meditation, or maybe more than a couple, that I have been practicing. Another one is Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian practice, and it's a forgiveness practice. And I have been using that practice mostly for myself. I haven't really had anybody else to forgive, but using that towards myself and just trying to demonstrate self-compassion, because I know that I have been quite critical of myself in this process, quite frustrated, angry with myself. And the Ho'oponopono meditation really allows you to diffuse some of that. And yeah, there's been lots of studies done, both actually with the loving kindness meditation and the Ho'oponopono meditation, on the ripple effect that these practices have, not only on ourselves, but out with into the community and the energetics of those that surround us. So both absolutely beautiful practices. Then body scans. Now, again, I can link this up to my own body scan meditation. I loving doing a man called Andrew Johnston's meditation on Insight Timer, and his guided body scan is 8 minutes. And I have been using these throughout the day to reset myself. So for me, my healing journey has involved a lot of trying to regulate my nervous system. I said on the last episode, I'd experienced quite a bit of trauma this year, and I just started working with a hypnotherapist, and I'm chatting to her. I'm like, oh, actually, there's more. There's more traumas that have been experienced, and I've kind of disassociated from that. I need to clear so that I can regulate my nervous system, because currently my nervous system is spending most of the time in fight or flight. I'm very jumpy, reactive. And the body scan meditation is such a wonderful tool for you to try, just to help you connect back into your body. So if your mind is racing, your thoughts are racing, even if you are experiencing sensations of anxiety, such as, tight throat, tight chest, a body scan can really help, because again, it widens that lens, in that it pulls you away maybe from that emotion and sensation, but it takes you to a part of your body and back to the present moment. So you might be connecting with your left toe or your left calf or any of those things. And it's very relaxing, and just a wonderful way to regulate you back into your body. Yoga Nidra, very, very similar. Again, I'm going to have a lot of things to hook up in these show notes, but again, I can hook you up with my Yoga Nidra as well. And again, similar to the body scan meditation, just working to bring the awareness. Both of those involve awareness back to the body and connecting body, mind, and soul. Okay, sound healing. Have you tried sound healing? Have you been to a sound bath? Have you had a gong bath, tuning forks, all of those things? Oh my goodness. I know that quite a few months ago, I went round to a lady I know who's called Donna Benton, Sounds of Tasango. And she did a sound healing for me and gong bath in her house. And I literally was like sitting in this chair in front of this massive gong, and at this time really experiencing sensations of imbalance in my ears, and I'm like, oh gosh, was this the best idea? And actually I had that gong bath session and a Reiki session from her, and the following day I was 100% fine. I'm like, holy moly, this is mind-blowing, amazing. So a lot of the things I mention and I'm going to be mentioning are about vibrational healing. So really connecting in with the vibration of our body. So emotions cause, imbalance within the body, and working with the vibration in their body can help kind of readdress that balance. So the sound healing gong bath has really, really supported me. I sound like I'm doing so many different things, and I am. But yeah, yesterday I was at my naturopath and she used tuning forks with me just to really balance my system back up again, because it's almost like it keeps blowing out. Like if you imagine a fuse, it's like bing, and trying to readdress it again. So sound healing is something that you might want to try. Again, you can find things online, but I would suggest that those things are best done in person, working with tuning forks, sound healing. And my friend Fiona, actually at Free Heart Yoga, also came and did one-to-one sound healing for me. And it's just so incredibly, incredibly beneficial. Next up, reflexology. So, I mean, this is could be like a little, 2023 little list for new things for you to try in your own healing. And there's so many fascinating different things to try. But this next one, I would say probably has been the most beneficial support for me and continuous beneficial support for me, which is reflexology. And just to do little shout outs for everyone I'm using, in case you live locally to me or you want to do some of these things online. So I've been seeing a lady called Dawn Forsyth, which is heart and soul reflexology. And honestly, that as well, just readdressing the balance. So again, it's working on the energy systems in the body. You're clearing blocks, bringing the body back into balance. I found that so relaxing, so healing, so incredible that in 2023, I said to her that I think I'm going to try and get it every 2 weeks just till I'm 100% back to full health. And then I'll maybe shift to monthly. But from a hormonal point of view and healing point of view, reflexology, and you will have reflexologists in your town, in your neighborhood, 100% for sure. So yeah, check that out. Excuse me. And then, of course, Reiki. Woohoo! So you will know that I'm an advanced Reiki practitioner, and I've been doing a lot of self Reiki, and that has really supported me as well as seeing my healer and another Reiki healer, and having distant healing. As I say, there's loads of different things I've tried, but this has been a process of pretty much this whole year. I have been using different tools and techniques to try and support my body mentally, physically, spiritually. It really has been a huge year of healing, shedding, transmuting, transforming. And Reiki has allowed me to find balance in those moments as well. Again, Reiki works on the energy systems in the body. And it is fascinating how all these things begin to tie in together. The reflexology, she might pick up, oh, you've got something going on with your gallbladder. And then the naturopath will pick that up in another way. Oh, interesting. This is a gallbladder issue. And then, the Reiki will be like, oh, there's something in your solar plexus, which happens to be where the gallbladder, is. So it's really fascinating. The tools that we have, Western, Eastern medicine, and how they all weave together. I'm still very much piecing together parts of a puzzle, and I know that surrender needs to play a part in what I am going through. But if you've ever read The Four Tendencies, who's the lady that wrote it? Again, I can try and hook it up. I need to try and write these things down because otherwise I will forget. But The Four Tendencies, Gretchen Rubin, and I'm a questioner. And that is something, I always am kind of seeking solutions, questioning things, trying to figure things out. And that's just who I am. And that is my tendency. So I do like trying to link these pieces of the puzzle together. And it has supported me this year in piecing those parts of the puzzle. For example, my Reiki healer picked up from my spirit guides that I needed to take black walnut oil. Then when working with my naturopath, I looked up what black walnut oil was for, and it was for parasites. And then when working with my naturopath, I spoke to her, and she said, we haven't done bloods yet, have we? And I said, no. And so it might be interesting, just to have a little check for parasites. And I said, well, that's really interesting because my Reiki healer has suggested that I take black walnut oil. And on looking that up, I realized that that was for parasites. And then when we pulled it together and tested my bloods and tested me vibrationally, the naturopath has a way for testing things vibrationally in your body by holding these rod things. And that's what was picked up, parasites. So I'll maybe jump onto that just now. So I'm also have been doing a parasite cleanse, and I had done that for a month. And I had the naturopath yesterday, as I mentioned, and it has cleared up the majority of things, but there is still a couple of bits and pieces going on with my blood. So I'm continuing with my parasitic cleanse for another 3 weeks. So, I'm not suggesting that everybody do a parasite cleanse. Most people will be fine, but equally, so many people do have parasites, and it can come from all sorts of different things. I've got obviously a lot of pets at home, and that's I have parasites from horses and dogs. No surprise there. I'm outside a lot, shoveling horse poo. And if your immune system and your body is working, is fired up and, working at its optimum capacity, you will not be affected by parasites. Your body has this innate ability to heal itself and clear things out. But if your body's working really hard on healing something else, then, it may be that is something that comes up for you. And they can cause a lot of different things. They can cause anxiety. For me, it was like the anxiety, cravings, dizziness. So yeah, quite a fascinating thing to look into. And I guess what I would say and reiterate from this podcast is, have hope that there is a solution. Like, I am hopeful and faithful that I am, piecing all these bits together, and I am 100% getting better. It's been such a slow process. But if I look back to how I was in March, for example, I am so much better now than I was then. And I'm not at my optimum health yet. I am, still experiencing some challenges, but the journey has begun and I am getting there. Okay, next thing on the list, shamanism. So I went and had a shamanic healing, and I found this so incredibly powerful. And again, this is what I'm saying about things weaving in together. So from the shamanic healing, I had a lot of work to do around endings and closure, even going back to my miscarriage, to my mum dying, to saying goodbye to a former version of myself. And what was coming through was creating ceremony and closure around a lot of these things. And also the death of my masculine side. So I'd been very, very, and have been throughout my life, very in my masculine. I've worked in sales a lot throughout my life, all these kind of like hustle, go, type things. But I was being really, really called to step into the space of femininity, of trust, allowing that masculine side of myself to die away, to shed. I was carrying a lot of karmic stuff, ancestral things, all similarly related to what I was going through, and did a lot of work with her and cleared some things, and it was hugely powerful and transformative. And then the next time I went to my Reiki healer, she picked up the exact same things. And so it is really, really fascinating how these things weave together. Next ones are maybe not quite so far out. If you're maybe beginning your healing journey, was like massage has been a big part. Obviously I mentioned reflexology, but massage and essential oils. As many of you know, I started my journey with essential oils, I don't know how many years ago, a long time ago, and have supported many people in introducing essential oils into their lives. And so I've been using my oils to support my anxiety, to support my balance, to support my mood and emotions. I very much use them on that vibrational level, as opposed to, if I had a toothache, I could use clove oil, for example. So rather than using it on the physical level, I've been using my essential oils really on the spiritual level as well, to connect with spirit, but also for me to regulate my nervous system, to calm my nervous system down. I've been using an essential oil from doTERRA called Balance. Again, I can hook up my links to the websites, the things that I'm using, or just simply message me. Please reach out if I'm speaking about anything. You're like, what was that thing you were talking about? How can I get a hold of it? I use an essential oil called Balance from doTERRA. I found that hugely supportive. I've been using doTERRA Cheer, which is a mood enhancer, mood lifter, great for depression. I have been using copaiba oil to support my panic attacks, and I found that really, really helpful. And vetiver, which is a sedative, gives a sedative effect. I've been using that to try and calm my nervous system. I've got lemon oil in my water today, my warm water, to really try and cleanse and nourish my system. So I've been using my essential oils a lot. And then as well as that, I went on to study my flower essence course, part 1. And again, like the essential oils, like the Reiki, like the reflexology, like the sound healing, the flower essences work on the vibrational frequencies within the body. So you work with the life force energy of a plant, and then that tries to bring your body back into balance. So you use those for emotional support as well. So I've been using those as I went through my course. We had to take different ones each week, and I found that hugely powerful, eye-opening, interesting. And I'm continuing to use flower essences just now as well. And interestingly, the flower essence, because I dowse and use kinesiology to check which essence my body's needing. And the one I'm using just now, my body's required, is called Spiritual Marriage. And these are from Findhorn flower essences. And again, I can connect them up. They ship globally. Absolutely stunningly beautiful, sacred essences. And the one I'm using is Spiritual Marriage, and it is about connecting the masculine and the feminine. So there you go, another theme coming through. How long have I been talking? What time are we at? I've been talking quite a while. But yeah, and I'm about halfway through the list, but I'll keep going. So the next one up is somatic dance. So and I probably will study this at some point, but the time the course was running, I couldn't do it. My sister was home from Australia, and I really wanted to focus my time with her. I have been practicing somatic dance with Sa de Simone. Again, I can hook that up. And he has a method of clearing energy within the body through dance, music, mantra, movement, and sound. And I found that really quite interesting, given that the beginning of my healing journey a lot was to do with imbalance. So my balance system went, and at times I couldn't walk, yet I would do these practices and try and dance and do these things. And I found it so helpful. And again, it's working on a vibrational level, shifting trauma from out with the body. You don't have to relive the trauma. You basically are just shifting the stuff from the cell memory. So yeah, somatic dance, something that works similar, again, shifting things from cell memory and a little bit of reprogramming, is tapping. So that is something else I've been doing, emotional freedom technique. You can find so many videos on YouTube. I have been enjoying a lady called, what is her name? Can't remember, someone Smith, very unhelpful. But if you look up tapping on YouTube, you might find her. And also Nick Ortner's tapping app. I've been using that as well. So I've been using that to support the ear pain when that first started, vertigo, when I had vertigo, driving. I've just started doing tapping for driving. tapping with my naturopath around grief of something that was going on in my family, tapping around the grief of my mum. So again, and I was doing tapping with my hypnotherapist the other day as well. So we're just changing that the brain and the makeup and how the brain puts things together and reprogramming. So it's like reprogramming a computer. It's hugely fascinating. Excuse me, and something you might want to try. Screaming. What I would say and what I discovered from screaming is if your nervous system is really dysregulated and you're really heightened and anxious, I would not advise screaming as a tool because you're going to shock your system even more. I think that, if you're feeling deep, intense anger at a certain point, yeah, absolutely go clear that at that point. But if you're really worried anxiously, I've not found that to be beneficial at all. But that being said, there have been other times, in like doing the Sada Simone somatic dance, whereby it has been really, really helpful to have a little screaming fit. So I'm going to rattle through some of these other ones. And if any of these, as I say, you want to reach out to me, then please, please, please do reach out. I've been doing a lot of breath work, really focusing on my nutrition. As I said, seeking support. So I've been working with a balance specialist, a specific physio for vestibular health, for reprogramming, basically learning to walk again, learning to coordinate my body again. I started HRT, which has been like night and day from the mood and emotions point of view, and a lot of the other symptoms that I was experiencing. I'm very early on the start of that journey, but it has 100% made a difference. Journaling every day, every single day. Journaling has been such a great support for me for getting clarity on things. Cold showers. So go check out the little Wim Hof method. There's so many things about the benefits of cold water therapy. I did a lot of cold water therapy in the summer, not so much in winter in Scotland, although I'm doing it in the shower and it is so cold, especially just now, given it's like -5 outside. And I didn't click that our pipes would be really, really damn cold. So very cold. Other end of the scale, Epsom salt baths. So nice warm baths with Epsom salts, with magnesium to really support the nervous system. Books. So initially I couldn't read at the start of this journey. My eyes and balance and all that was not great. So I did listen to audiobooks at that point, but even sound at that time was quite challenging. But yeah, back reading, using my grounding mat. So I have a mat that I plug in that I lie on. I was sleeping with that last night, using my Shakti mat. So it's a bit like lying on a bed of nails. But once you get used to it, it's so deeply relaxing for the body. Podcasts, listening to uplifting podcasts, trying to raise my mood, raise my vibration, because I really found myself quite lonely and disconnected during this period because I haven't been around upbeat people. I haven't been around my people. I haven't been able to go to yoga classes. I haven't been able to connect with, just like-minded people. And that's something I'm really conscious of and want to bring into the new year, just being around my people and connecting. And I think that's why I found the women's circle last night so helpful. And my numero uno, top healing tip is nature. I feel my best when I am outside in nature, whether, that is just grounding my feet in the garden or taking a walk. But for me, being in the forest, the beach, walking out with my horses is so healing. So that's a little rundown that I promised to give you there. There's so many different things there. I will try and remember to link everything up. What I would say is if you are going through healing just now, if you're experiencing anxiety, stress, or overwhelm in the new year, I'm going to be running a little book club type support group we're going to work through my book Be Free, and we're going to do that together chapter by chapter as a group. So we'll have our own little community. This is something I really wanted to do, just to work through, revisit all those principles and do it in a really supportive, fun, loving, accountable way. I'm running that for free, so there is zero cost to you to take part in that. I will pop the link in the show notes so that you can connect in with that as well, if that's something that might be of interest to you. And again, please do reach out with any questions you have about anything I've said, because I have really kind of like rattled through things there, but it might just give you some ideas of support, of things that might support you. And yeah, here's to traveling this healing journey together and knowing that there is hope. Okay, sending you so much love, wishing you a beautiful festive season, and I'll be back soon. Bye.